Good evening and thank you for watching our special ABC6 News coverage of tonight's election. I'm John DeLuca.
And I'm Tiffany Murphy. As we come on the air just before 8:30 tonight, this is the picture in terms of electoral votes for the presidential candidates so far at this hour. This is according to AP projections. So right now, as you see on your screen, 95 electoral votes for Donald Trump and 35 for Kamala Harris.
In Rhode Island, Vice President Harris is already the projected winner. The AP calling the race based on exit polling. Rhode Island, as you probably know by now, is worth 4 electoral votes.
Meantime, Massachusetts is also called for Harris as well. The AP projecting the vice president takes the Bay State's 11 electoral votes tonight. That's based on early data and exit polling. Now, staying in Massachusetts, the AP projects Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren wins re-election there. She was challenged by John Deaton on the Republican side.
And in Rhode Island, the Associated Press projecting Senator Whitehouse will win his race against Republican challenger Patricia Morgan, giving him a 4th term in the U.S. Senate.
In the U.S. House race in Massachusetts' 4th District, Congressman Jake Auchincloss coasts to another term, running unopposed.
And as expected, a really great night for Democrats in Rhode Island.
They are gathered at the Graduate Hotel in Providence at this hour, and that is where we find ABC6 News anchor Alyssa Azara. Alyssa?
That's right, Tiffany. As results roll in, more people are showing up here at the Graduate Hotel in Providence. Mayor Brett Smiley talking right now about how it's a great night for Rhode Island, and it's definitely going to be a night of celebrating here at the Graduate with Vice President Kamala Harris already winning the state. We'll continue to update you on the vibes here, but I can tell you that the energy is high. We'll touch back with you in about an hour live in Providence. Alyssa Azara, ABC6 News. Back to you guys.
All right, Alyssa, thank you. We look forward to seeing you in just a little bit there in Providence at the Graduate Hotel. We're joined now by our ABC6 News political analyst, Providence College political science professor, Dr. Adam Myers. Dr. Myers, always a pleasure to hear from you and get your insight on a night like tonight. Obviously, a huge victory lap tonight for huge, high-profile Democrats in Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Yeah, and none of that was a surprise, right? None of these races were competitive. Everybody expected that Senator Whitehouse would win and that Senator Warren would win, and they did.
And by large margins.
And by large margins. We'll see just how large, right? These projections are mostly based on exit polls. The numbers, the actual vote totals are coming in as we speak.
I would say, though, and even though we suspected that Senator Whitehouse would win, Patricia Morgan did put up a decent fight in the sense that she was on TV, she was out there, she debated, she, in all appearances, ran a decent campaign. But
yeah,
it was uphill. It was an uphill battle. It
was right. I mean, she is a feisty campaigner, has been for many years now, but it's just impossible, maybe not impossible, but extremely challenging for a Republican candidate to overcome the party identification deficit that Republicans have in this state.
Now, as we go on through the night, as you look at the national race, what are some things maybe our viewers should keep an eye on that you'll be keeping focused on to say maybe the presidential election is going one way or another? Any key states for you at this point?
Well, the 2 key states that everybody's watching right now are Georgia and North Carolina, and Georgia is rapidly reporting. North Carolina is starting to report. It's important to bear in mind that these early numbers come from certain parts of the state, right? And so they're not necessarily indicative of the way the rest of the state is going to vote. I expect that both states, when all is said and done, are going to be very close, and we'll just have to wait and see what the final outcome is.
Now, this is one of those fingers crossed elections because we all want to know what's happening, but we have to have patience tonight because some of these states, it's going to take a really long time.
And we've seen an overwhelming number of early votes and mail-in ballots as well.
Absolutely, and so what that might mean is that the numbers will shift over time because the votes that are being cast initially may be more Republican than the mail-in ballots, which will come in later in a lot of key states.
All right, if you'd like to see all the results, go to our abc6news.com